With a former women's champion passing away and another release from WWE, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for February 9th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. A news report from WrestleVotes came out the other day which claimed there is currently no replacement for Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. Now, Ringside News has set the record straight as they noted that the report came out yesterday saying WWE is still trying hard to find a replacement for Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. That is not the case. We have learned that Shane's replacement is already decided. In fact, it was decided as soon as the decision was made to send Shane home. Staying on the topic of Shane McMahon being let go by WWE, Ric Flair would take to his podcast to give his take on the situation as he said, "I like Shane McMahon as a person. He's always been great to me my whole life. Of course, I do not have enough good things to say about Vince. It's a very uncomfortable topic and situation for me to discuss, because I just do not know enough about it. No, but I really do not see Shane being put through this brief period of humiliation for it to be something that's not real either. If your family is as closely knit as they are, why would you let that be the top subject in WWE news for 2 weeks? I hope it's a work." With the Royal Rumble being criticized for not having many surprise returns, Rob Van Dam told Sportskeeda that he was ready to make his comeback at the pay-per-view. "I let WWE know that I was available if they needed me for Royal Rumble, and I was on standby, with a brand new outfit feeling great, in a great condition. In the end, they did not call me, but it could happen any time. I really do not have any plans for it, but I would consider any situation from any company. I would definitely consider it. If it's right, it's right." AEW has announced a debut for Dynamite tonight as many are wondering who it will be. Talking about this on Twitch, Matt Hardy mentioned his brother making his way to the promotion. "I don't think he's the guy coming in this Wednesday in AEW against Isaiah Cassidy. Although, who knows? Tony Khan, Papa Khan has a lot of money. Maybe he bought him out of his contract and he is coming in early. Who knows?" The final of the 90 days was supposed to be on March 9th. March 10th, he's a free agent. With many considering The Miz to be one of the greatest heels in WWE today, AJ Styles would echo a similar sentiment when he talked with Ryan Satin on the Out of Character podcast. "To me, there's no one who understands what a heel's supposed to be like better than The Miz. And that's what I wanted to be. I'm just not as good as him. That's what I want to be, and that's what heels should want to be. They should not want to be liked. They should want to be spit on and all this stuff. That's what we should strive for, because with the emotion that you bring as a heel, it just makes whoever you're working that much better. When you got a heel and you got a baby face, it's easy. When you got a great storyline, it's easy. Everything's gonna work out." On that note, AJ Styles, when mentioned becoming a babyface following his feud with Omos, he said, "Absolutely, I'm enjoying being a babyface again. It had been a while since I feel like I've been a heel, and I thought, it's time for a change. I'm ready to move on. And in my heart, as Alan Jones, I love kids. I love to make them smile. Being able to do that as AJ Styles is a blessing." In 2007, John Cena faced many contenders during his reign as WWE Champion, one of them being the current champ, Bobby Lashley. This match took place at the Great American Bash, where Cena would come out on top. Talking to Bleacher Report, Lashley admitted he wants a rematch against Cena. Cena's always one of those guys where come WrestleMania time, he's out in his gym doing those 800-pound squats getting ready for it. I know he is. I know he's doing a lot of stuff with the movies and everything like that, but I know he's training and looking over the roster and saying, who can I go over there and do something with? I hope my name is on his list, because of course I'd like to face him also. On the same token, I never want to take away from the current roster, the people who are out there banging every week and doing the live events. As Brock Lesnar looks to take back his WWE title from Lashley in Elimination Chamber, he's aiming for a title versus title bout at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns. Talking about this on After the Bell, Paul Heyman would note that the best is yet to come for these two stars. First of all, I'll say this selfishly, you haven't seen the best of Roman Reigns yet. Roman Reigns a year from now will be far greater than Roman Reigns today. Roman Reigns this Friday will be better than Roman Reigns last Friday, and Roman Reigns next Friday will be able to look back at this Friday's appearance and say, I can do that so much better. I think you look at Brock Lesnar evolving as a person on television, and here he comes down now, Captain Caveman fresh off of a farm in Saskatchewan, where he's a pure killer and butcher. Can you compare this Brock Lesnar you've seen in the last 20 years? He's evolving. He's only going to be better. On his podcast, Jake Roberts recalled his time working for Vince McMahon, where he mentioned that the WWE chairman would not only try to humiliate people, but would attempt to break their spirits. One thing Vince McMahon did that just made me want to throw up is when you got ready to leave, or if you really wanted that job, he wanted to humiliate you. He wanted to break your spirit, and that's just wrong, man. Look at Terry Taylor. That's my only complaint about Vince. Yeah, he screwed me over some money. Yeah, he could have done this. Yeah, he could have done that. That's okay. But when you try to break a man's spirit and try to humiliate him, why? Jake Roberts will be in Lance Archer's corner when the Murder Hawk takes on Adam Page for the AEW title in a Texas death match on Dynamite. After signing with NXT UK 2 years ago, it seems the contract of Candy Floss has run out as she put out this statement. In May 2019, I lost my mom to cancer, then in January 2020, I signed with NXT UK. Unfortunately, my dream career with WWE got put on hold when, during the pandemic, I was diagnosed with severe PTSD and anxiety because of the trauma I experienced witnessing my favorite person, my mom, fight for her life. I decided I needed to put my mental health first, and WWE couldn't have been more supportive. In December 2021, my contract with WWE expired. It is very sad for me, as I wish my journey with WWE didn't have to end like this, as I worked so hard to get signed. I just want to say thank you to WWE for dealing with me so well, as I know it's not an easy situation. I'm very grateful for it all. From fighting in the ring nearly every day, I found myself being in the biggest fight with my mental health. On a positive note, I am doing so much better. My dream isn't over. Life just decided to be very unfair, not so sweet towards me. Hopefully I will be back in the ring again sometime soon and hurt my 90-year-old back again. Thank you to everybody for supporting me. While Ronda Rousey is set to take on Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania, reports have come out that Rousey will likely face Becky Lynch at Mania next year. In the meantime, Becky has gone back to mocking the former UFC champion, as Ric Flair recently took to his podcast to take a shot at Lynch for mocking Rousey. Once again, she is not Ronnie, she is Ronda Rousey, and anybody who is stupid enough to call her Ronnie and make a joke of her presence, what she brings to the company, is out of their mind, aka Big Time Bex. Hey Ronnie, welcome back. That's exciting, that's really exciting. How about thank you Ronda for showing up, because I'm not the man anymore. I'm generic. Who am I? Big Time Bex? The last kicker? I have no idea. With Bryan Danielson offering to work with Jon Moxley on Dynamite last week, Eddie Kingston talked about this on the Wrestle Talk podcast, where he made his feelings towards Bryan known. Bryan's a very judgmental person. Oh, you're eating meat? That's him. You know what I mean? Oh, you don't do the Karl Gotch workout system? Ugh, why don't you? Oh, you don't grapple away? It's supposed to be this. Why do you think I tried to bloody up his chest? Come on, folks. You've got to look underneath the surface. You've got to look underneath the surface of these people. What they put on screen is not them, and when it starts leaking, everybody gets mad, and I'm like Bobby Heenan. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. You know what I mean? I said it from the beginning. My hands are clean. Speaking of Bryan Danielson, AEW President Tony Khan told Sports Illustrated that the American Dragon has been working with the undefeated TBS champion Jade Cargill behind the scenes. Off-screen, Bryan is such a valuable resource. I recently asked him and Jade Cargill, who is already starting an amazing run as our TBS champion, to work together. I think Bryan is the world's greatest pro wrestler, and he has such valuable insight. Jade is incredibly driven, and Bryan's been a great mentor to her so far. When Braun Breaker and Santos Escobar were in the middle of their NXT Championship Summit, Dolph Ziggler would surprisingly make his way out, as it looks like he'll be wrestling on the brand for the foreseeable future. Many fans were excited over this, so here's some of the reactions. I absolutely loved NXT this week. The opening match was amazing. Loved the women's matches, and OMG Dolph Ziggler on NXT was amazing. I can't wait for Breaker versus Ziggler. I really hope this is the beginning of more main roster talent coming to NXT. Dolph Ziggler in NXT? Wow. Hope this means that he's gonna get another main event push. I just hope they don't forget about Robert Roode or turn him into a jobber or something like that. Wrestling star Bonnie Marie would share news on Facebook that former AWA Women's Champion Candi Divine passed away this morning at the age of 63. Divine debuted in Tennessee in the early 80s and would go on to become a 4-time AWA champ, as we wish her family all the best during this time. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.